Legend of Total War here, and today this is just hopefully going to be a quick video on a lesson of gullibility. Now, in the comments section over the past few days on my Rome 2 campaign, there's been a bit of a prevailing myth going on. It's not a big deal, but I can see it start to snowball, so I want to sort of nip it in the bud. Because if I just go in and respond to these comments one at a time, it's really wasting a lot of my time, and I'm only convincing one or two people. Now, I would much rather, it is easier for me to make a video about this and convince hundreds, if not thousands of people immediately that way. And just nip this in the bud once and for all. And this rumor is, can you or can you not get a second civil war in Rome 2? Now, the prevailing myth, starting to build up, is that no, it's impossible to get a second civil war in Rome 2 after the first one has occurred. And I'm here to say, no, it is possible to get a second civil war. It's very unlikely, but it is possible. So what I've done here, now obviously you look at this thing and go, what has he done? He's wasted so much time. When I finished the campaign, I went for whole map thing. It shouldn't be spoiling anything. I mean, you guys knew I was eventually going to go for whole map completion. But when I finished the game, I had everything under control as far as influence. I had myself at 46%, I think, influence, which was exactly where I wanted it. But the problem is, late campaign, going down in influence is easy. Going back up in influence, that's fucking hard. And since there are no enemies left to fight, there's no way for me to rank up my generals. So what I did was waited for all of these to die of old age. And I'm at a situation here where influence generation is really low, but it's also at a state where the other houses cannot generate any influence. And so it just takes a long time, because I've got buildings like the Cloaca Maxima, the Pantheon, I've got the Circus Maximus in the Colosseum somewhere. So that's all of those generate influence for my house. Now that generates it very slowly. Now what I've done here is I've got myself to 277 senators, which has taken me a long time in terms of turns. And we can see here that we've got low civil war chance. Now, if I manage to get to that point there, which is about 300 senators, it will go up to medium civil war chance. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to keep end turning until the civil war does happen. Now, this is the third attempt of this video, just because I don't want this to be a long video. And what I've done is that if me pressing end turn heaps goes over 10 minutes, well, I just end the video and start again. But I've generated more influence for my house, so I don't need to load back up. Now, this kind of situation, if you're at the situation where I was at the end of the campaign, you're not going to get another civil war. It's just not going to happen. Now, however, if I was going to get a second civil war in the campaign, naturally, what would have happened is that we would have generated the first civil war when I was at like 70% influence, and not made any attempt to lower the influence after that. Beaten the civil war, stayed at 70% influence, remained at medium civil war chance, and then, of course, a second civil war would have eventually occurred, probably faster than what this is. Because it did take me, it was like 50 AD before I was even able to get back to a low civil war chance. I just don't want people to fixate on what turn it is, because that's not important. It's quicker for me to do it this way. Proven correct. Well, we've already seen this in the campaign, we don't need to see it again. So then, there we have it. I am correct. There we have it, the second civil war. It is possible. It's not likely to occur, and it took me a long time to generate this to happen, but people were saying it's impossible to get a second civil war. No, it's not. Now, if I was to go through and beat the civil war again, you can have another civil war. Play long enough, it occurs. It's very unlikely to occur. But the main reason for me to do this was that I really don't like you guys holding onto opinions that are provably incorrect, because I know that a lot of people they don't have time to go through and test this shit, because it would take hours. I was in a position where I could test it because I had a completed campaign that I hadn't formatted the hard drive or anything. It's only taken me about half an hour to do all this. And there we have it, Second Civil War. I really don't need to beat this point down anymore. Point's been proven. Wasn't trying to have a go at anyone that held onto this position. It's just, this is a much more effective way, I believe, of responding to a comment rather than just having an argument in the comment section, because I've done that in the past and it's just proven pointless. If you don't provide evidence, you have no means by which to be convincing. Now, I've provided evidence here. This is the second civil war that has gone through in this campaign. Case fucking closed.